Am I the asshole for saying my brother is married to our precious mom, to his girlfriend? I really don't think I was an asshole, but even my dad said I fucked up, so I had the need to write this to hear. We are 4 brothers. I am the biggest, 38M. Then there is K, 32M, F, 29M, and our smallest J, 25M, who has been a surprise egg. J is the one I am talking about. Our mom is 62 years old and our dad is 64. When I was 15, my mom and my dad got a divorce. They were a terrible couple since I remember. I stayed with my dad permanently while my brothers moved to my mom's hometown with my mom. I was studying in a private high school, so I didn't move. Also, I love my dad more. He is a much more stable and relaxed guy to live with. My dad always made an effort to see my brothers, and he would go to my mom's hometown by plane weekly even if he was post-night shift. He is a surgeon. One by one, K and F started to move in with us because of education and mostly due to my mom being paranoid and controlling, except JJ was always mama's boy. When I would go to my mom's house, he would never leave his side, and after he turned 18, he rejected one of the best university offers in our country to stay with mom and went to vocational school. Then he started to take care of our mom full-time even though she didn't need. They are currently like a married couple, and my mom never really lets his leash. If he is traveling somewhere for work, our mom comes with him and stays in a nearby hotel. She maybe calls us once a month, and when she calls, it is mostly about how Jay being a devoted son and we being assholes who doesn't give her any attention. We jokingly say they are a married couple and we are the side chicks. 5 months ago, Jay called us out of the blue and said he was in our town and he brought his girlfriend to meet with us. We were pleasantly surprised, and when we met her, she was a really sweet girl. She was always very warm with my dad and my brothers, but when we talked, it was always in a formal situation. She would always call me Mr. Surname, contrary to my dad and my brothers. It was weird, but I thought she was raised in a hierarchical household, so I let it go. A week ago, she called me and said she wanted to meet me. I said, sure, and when we met up, she asked how could I leave my mom in an instance and abandon my siblings. How could I not care about my brother and why I basically betrayed my family? I started to laugh. I told her everything from the divorce to now and said, my brother will always have mom first, you should get used to that. Then I asked her their future plans and she realized it always involved mom. She was flabbergasted, said thanks and left the table. 2 days later, Jay got front of my door drunk and yelled, "You made us broke apart. Mom was right, you are nothing but a homewrecker. I hate you and I hope you die alone." I called the cops and he spent a night inside the detention. Now all of my family thinks I wrecked his life. I think it was a long-needed wake-up call. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You didn't ruin his life. You stopped his girlfriend from ruining her own by making her see the facts. Not the asshole. This screams emotional incest on your mother's part. At first I thought that it wasn't your story to tell and that you should have let her work it out on her own. But then, thinking about the absolute bullshit she came out with about you abandoning them all, just got me to see how very toxic and incestual this whole situation is. So, on balance, I think you probably saved her from a fate worse than death. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You just pointed out something she should have already seen. Also, it's weird that his girlfriend tried to confront you about family drama from years ago. Not the asshole. There's enough stories on the related advice sub of women married to mama's boys. OTS better she finds out now that Jay is still attached the umbilical cord. It's better that she finds out now rather than on her honeymoon, when she finds herself giving her new husband a reach around while he's spooning with his mum. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for my response after my brother-in-law told me I'm 35 and still don't know what I want? Hi Reddit. Using a throwaway for privacy. So, I'm the eldest of 4 siblings. I'm 35F. All of my other siblings are married and have kids. I'm not married, had 3 long-term relationships that ended badly, and I have no kids. It's been 6 years since I've dated and my family keep pressure me to look for my future husband and start a family cause I'm too old to wait any longer. It's hard to do that with all the trauma and hurt that I carry. They say they want what's best for me and are worried I might end up an old lady with only a cat living with me. I do feel alone sometimes, but I like it that way. At least I no longer deal with lies, trust issues and mistreatments from my exs. My brother-in-law, sister's husband, keeps commenting on my status whenever I visit, talking about how I need to find my better half and have kids. Usually I respond by ignoring him, but he kept throwing more comments publicly. Now from what my sister tells us, he sleeps all day, unemployed, doesn't help with childcare nor responsibilities but also likes to call the shot in every decision made. They say that's how he is. So, last night, we all got together for dinner and brother-in-law brought up my personal life by asking a stream of questions about my plans. I tried to ignore him but he said that I'm 35, single, childless, and don't even date at the moment. I looked at him in shock as he went on to say that I, clearly, am confused and still don't know what I want in life. The family looked at me and it made me pissed. In response I told him that, yes, I clearly don't know what I want but I do know what you want. What you really want, and that is child-level responsibility, and king-level authority in your family. Then told him I'd rather spend the rest of my days single than be stuck with someone like him. He gone completely silent and what I said was enough for him to abandon dinner table. My sister stayed quiet and dinner turned awkward. I left later then mom and sister called me saying it wasn't right that I insulted my brother-in-law like that and when I explained what he said to me they told me he was just trying to encourage me to have normal life like the rest of them. They said it was rude and hurtful what I said and I have to apologize to him in person. I might have gone over the top but I refused to apologize at least till I see if I'm wrong with my response. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Sure. What you said was a little on the rude side but I'm sure you have been biting your tongue long enough and he's clearly been an asshole to you. Good for you for sticking up for yourself. Not the asshole. Your bill clearly can dish it but can't take it. If I were you I would have listed off all the things you mentioned he doesn't do and ask him why you would want a husband like that. You don't owe him an apology. Your family needs a reality check that some people are perfectly fine without that nuclear family image and clearly, for your sister at least, it's not worth it. Not the asshole. Sounds like your sister hasn't found her better half yet either. Edit. Thank you for the awards. That was most unexpected. Not the asshole. He can't continuously make shitty and judgmental comments about your life choices and then pull a surprised Pikachu face and sulk on the one time you return the favor. Some people are so short-sighted and think that their way of life is the only way to happiness, which is hysterical to me because most of them pushing the one true way lifestyle are miserable as fuck. If you want to be a single cat lady, or a woodland witch, or a solo traveler, or any other way of life then it's none of their business. And as a side note, the whole, "you are clearly confused" mindset is deeply sexist and old-fashioned. You're 35, not 95. Well done for calling out his bullshit and putting him in his place. Your sister needs to stop enabling him. Not the asshole and I am jealous that you had the exact right words to say at the exact right time. Single women with no children are statistically the happiest people on the planet. Exactly because they don't have to put up 24/7 with dudes like your Bill. Not the asshole. If he can criticize your lifestyle, you can criticize his. Am I the asshole for telling my ex that his stepdaughter's schedule isn't important to me? Ex and I broke up 7 years ago. Our boys are 11 and 10. He has been married to May for 4 years now. Ever since he remarried our relationship has been high conflict. He tried to claim being married, having a two-parent household with siblings, meant our boys should be primarily with him, and not 50-50 like it had been since our relationship ended. He also sued to have the boys' last names changed from mine to his. Both were denied. He rejected the offer to hyphenate their names. It was very much a relationship destroyer. I was and still am pissed. Not only did he go through the courts about it but afterward he tried to convince me it would be better for our boys to live with a happily married couple, to have a mom, dad and sisters in one home. I told him they would never have their mom and dad in one home again. And that he should remember that. I'm pretty sure he was unhappy with that but it is what it is. His wife's girls have some kind of access with their father but I'm not sure how frequent or infrequent it is. I know it doesn't sound like the kids are in the house at the same time usually. My ex has tried to make this my problem. He has asked me to give him extra days for this or that because that's when the girls are there, or can I put them in a different extracurricular to the ones they like because the girls are doing something in another place and it would be easier for him. This time, he and his wife are planning a 2-week vacation. He wants me to give up a week with our boys because the girls can be there for 2 weeks and he wants a family vacation. My boys are not close to their stepsisters. This has come up because my ex and his wife have talked to my boys about not claiming sisters when they write about siblings on school stuff. And then when my oldest got a week pass for the trampoline park, he used it while he was with me for him, his brother and a couple of their friends. While ex had asked why he didn't save it to use with the girls as well. He was annoyed that my ex made such a big deal out of it. I said no to the whole vacation thing anyway, and ex brought up the girls again. I told him the girls' schedule with them is not important to me and he needs to stop trying to make it a problem for me. I told him he was not getting an extra week with the boys and he needed to accept it. Am I the asshole? Editing to add because I don't seem to have it clear enough. X is asking me to fully give up a week of parenting time with my children. He is not offering to make it up. And has been disagreeable to swapping in the past when asking for extra time. Absolutely not the asshole. You're right. His family is his responsibility. He's being unreasonable. And if he and May keep trying to start stuff with the boys, action needs to happen in the opposite direction. You can't force kids to feel anything, much less affection for a family they don't see as theirs. If this keeps up, talk to a lawyer. The situation is deteriorating. Not the asshole. I love how his new family is somehow your problem to figure out. I would talk to a lawyer and possibly go back to court. In some places, your sons are old enough for a court to take their opinion into account for custody times. Not the asshole, but what do the boys want? Because if they want to go on this vacation, you could switch that week for you having them for a quill time the next weeks. Your children and what they want and need are who come first, not your desire to punish your ex. Definitely not the asshole. You pretty much said it all when you told him his stepdaughter's schedule isn't yours to accommodate. Period. I can see why this guy's is an ex. Not the asshole. IANAL, and I don't know what custody law looks like where you are, but is it possible he's trying for more time and more days than you so he can go back to court and claim he's primary because of that faux imbalance? I may be looking into it too much, but he's so consistently asking for more days, I'm just wondering what his endgame is. Not the asshole. This sounds like the start of a bad Lifetime movie where the crazy stepmom decides to cut mom out totally. I agree with all the comments above to talk to an attorney if this continues at all. Dad is being unreasonable and it seems like they won't give up because they have some weird views on what families should look like. Sorry you have to deal with this mess. Good luck. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he has it easy? I'm 7 months pregnant. It has been very difficult for me with all the medical stuff and chronic pain I'm constantly dealing with. My husband gets annoyed every time I bring up how much pain I feel. It's not like I complain constantly, but it has slowed me down, which made my husband think I'm looking for excuses to not get anything done. Yesterday morning I woke up with terrible back pain. After I vented about it and expressed my discomfort, he snapped at me and told me that I was acting like a spoilt princess and that I'm a mother, I should start acting like one. I snapped back saying that he doesn't get to dictate how I should feel and deal with what I'm dealing with because he has no idea what it's like. He was like, yeah, but we're in this together, I put the baby in there, remember? I told him yes, but he's not the one doing the work, so he has it easy. He looked at me shocked and went quiet for a minute. He then said, aha, how typical. Trying to use the "I'm the mom" card against me already. How much leverage are you planning to get with that? Which hurt because he made me feel like I'm milking it. We argued about it, then he left and refused to respond to my phone calls all day. In the evening he got distant and ignored me when I tried to speak to him, and then said that telling him he has it easy was way out of line and an awful attempt to discredit his efforts and sacrifices, but all he does is provide. Am I the asshole? Buddy had an orgasm and thinks it the equivalent of growing an entire tiny human. This is not how supportive partners act toward their pregnant wife. 100% not the asshole. Oof, not the guy you want to raise a kid with. Not the asshole. He's a giant ETA. I just read your reasoning. What are his efforts so far? Having an orgasm? So he gets to feel good and coast for 9 months while your body goes through hell? That is not on. Honey. Throw away the whole husband. Like, no joke, he is trying to convince you that you're not allowed to feel crappy during pregnancy? And then gets defensive and claims you're somehow burdening him with your complaints? He should be rubbing your feet, handing you tea, and drawing you a hot bath. Not the asshole in every way. But, in comparison to you, he does have it easy. I mean the swelling, the nausea, the aches, the peeing, the tiredness, the cravings, the bad sleep, the blood tests, the change of diet, the clothes not fitting, the DRS appointments. The list goes on. He really cannot compare ejaculation to pregnancy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Massive red flags in him, and honestly it looks like you're in for a shitty ride with him as a partner. Please reconsider. Get one of those machines that gives men what it feels like to have contractions and period cramps, then tell him he is a spoiled princess for being in pain. 3. Not the asshole he is delusional to think you are not in a lot of pain when pregnant. When I thought my ribs were going to break at one point because of how bad it hurt. Good luck with your husband thinking that his part in the baby making makes his words okay. Also I think he's a walking red flag with the second paragraph.